Coach Bandstra, thank you again for the opportunity. My name is Coach Joe Gerbino. You guys can call me Coach Bino. I am the quarterbacks coach and the offensive coordinator at Utica College. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about simple ways to be complex. So not all of us have the players just to line up every single play and get after an opponent. These are ways that you guys can run your base inside run concepts or your base pass concepts such as smash. Simple things, simple ways to be complex. Open book here for myself and Utica College. You guys will see the Twitter handles. You guys can send me a DM. I also have my cell phone on here. I don't mind for you guys to reach out using that aspect or that avenue. And then my email is there as well. I will send this. This is a whole playlist on Huddle. I have PowerPoint slides as well. I can download and send it via email, or I can share it with you guys through Huddle. So what do we consider quote unquote complex? So some ways that we can give the facade of being complex. These are our top 3 ways. We will bunch our formations, we will go unbalanced, and we will motion. I will go in depth on all 3 of these things. Hopefully I don't run out of time here, but I'm going to start with bunch and kind of give you the whys as to why we do all 3 of these things. So for us, why we would bunch, we become tight to the formation. Our on-ball receivers will be 3 yards away from the end man or the tackle. And then our off-ball receivers will be in a 1-by-1 off the on-ball. So it's a way for us to tighten down and get everybody into the tackle box. And that will add horizontal space for us to attack that space from the hash to the sideline. This will also allow you to get to spaces you normally could not. So if you have a play side read, or if you're booting or doing different things, you can get those backside receivers a lot closer to that vantage point or the vision of the quarterback that you guys want. When you bunch, you can also force a coverage. At times, most teams will only have one coverage check to bunch formations. We'll go unbalanced as well. That's to add confusion. It's to add leverage for block, better leverage for pin and pull, like a crack block on buck sweep. Or it can add a digit in the run game or the pass game. We'll play action off of it. I'll show you guys some tape on that. Motioning, why we motion, it's a combination of the previous 2. We can get to spaces we normally cannot. Get force of coverage. A lot of teams will spin their safeties to that. But also allows us leverage inside out on a block, or allows us to add a digit in like our jet sweep game or different things like that. Okay, so moving on. Again, we're going to start with bunch, guys. So in our bunch sets, this is all film from our last 2 years with our freshman quarterback on for me calling the plays as well. So this is film, and all these stats are based on 2018 and 2019, the previous 2 seasons. So we had 59 calls in our bunch sets. We averaged 7 yards in all of them. These are our top calls of the 59. So again, simple ways to be complex. We're not setting the world on fire. We're not recreating the wheel here. We're running smash. We're running a spacing concept. We're running a snag concept. I'm sure most of you are doing those things. Yes, we do bunch primarily to pass, but to keep people honest, we will run outside zone as well. Here are some diagrams of our smash concepts. So again, why do we bunch? Bullet number 1 there was to add horizontal space. So it just gives us more room to throw the flat if we wanted to. We'll have different backside tags. This diagram to the left was our most commonly used, where we will run smash to the play side or to the left here with the Z and the Y. And then we'll run a divot concept with the dig and a pivot route on the backside. We'll also run mesh and things like this, concepts like that out of these formations. But again, simple ways to be complex. Here's one of the ways that we do it. We'll also, if we're having some success with our smash concept, to keep people honest, we will tag a corner post on the backside of it. So I'm going to get right to the tape here. This is from 2019. We're a clap cadence team. We will double cadence as well. So here we are looking to the sideline. Again, in our sets, our base alignment, the on-ball receiver will be 3 yards from the end man line of scrimmage, and the off-ball receiver will be roughly 1-by-1 off of the on-ball receiver. We can also performance align or have smart splits. So depending on what we're asking our receivers to do, they will align slightly differently. But our quarterback is going to read low to high over here. He's going to read his smash concept, and then we're going to have that divot concept on the backside. We'll also tag curl concepts as well. Here's going to be an example of us hitting the ball into the flat. We'll tell our quarterback to take a 3-step drop, 3 and a hitch. He should throw the flat off at 3 steps. If he has to hitch, he will throw the corner or the flag or the 7-cut, whatever you guys call it in your terminology. What I do like about this concept is it will create a play side triangle when we tag the dig or the drag route. So he will have 1, 2, or 3. And if he had to hitch again, that's a terrible triangle there. But if he had to hitch again, he could throw the backside concept, whatever the heck that it is. Here we are getting the ball into the flat. Great job by one of our smaller receivers there playing behind his pads. Showed it to you guys from tight. Great job. And I might get off topic a few times talking about quarterback play, but this is a great job by the quarterback squaring his shoulder to throw. We want to throw straight as many times as we possibly can. All right, here we are in the same set. This is a 2x2 10 personnel set. We do this a lot out of our 10 personnels. I know that this isn't necessarily an open forum, so I apologize if I leave out some detail that's important to the play. But in the comments, whatever you guys want to ask me, all my contact info, whatever questions you guys have, I'm more than able to speak on it. Here we are on our 2x2 10 personnel tight set. We're running smash to the play side. I showed you guys an example of us getting the ball into the flat. Here's an example of us getting the ball to the corner out. The flat, we tell them to take 3 to 4 steps. We want them no more than 5 to 6 yards. Roll it over. That should be a speed cut, not a 90-degree cut. They shouldn't have to throttle, change direction. Our corner routes, we tell them to get to 10 to 12. And we tell them to take an angle to the front pylon, no matter where we are in the field. So we can always anticipate that angle. If we're inside the 25-yard line, we will then angle to the back pylon. If we know that we're playing a man team or a cover 2 team, we will adjust the angle of our corner route that week, and we'll tell them to intersect the sideline anywhere between 20 to 25 yards. But for us, higher the better. We want this ball over the top. And the higher the angle is on the corner, the better ability the quarterback has to flatten that route out if he needs to. We don't want the route to flatten. We want the ball to flatten the route, if that makes sense. But here you see this is a high angle. You see that the receiver does a decent job at keeping a high angle here, but the quarterback does an even better job at adjusting him on an angle higher than that. We're playing Utica here, who's traditionally a cover 3 team. The field side corner does a great job here playing the flat and then adjusting to the intermediate or the deep portion of this concept. So if the quarterback puts this ball anywhere else, this is going to be an incompletion, possibly even worse, a turnover. That's why we teach the angles of the corners the way that we do. I'm going to get to another wide shot here. So here it is again. This is 2018, different team. Here's an example of us flattening the corner route here. And now that you guys kind of get the general gist of the concept, I'll move a little bit quicker here. We love the tight sets. It allows us to be creative. You guys can intersect lanes. You guys can also add double moves. Again, keep people honest off of base things that you're doing. So we've watched the previous 3 to 4 clips here. We're just running smash. Here we're running smash again. We're going to stem it to the post or to the seam bend, because we'll tag down the backside of some concepts as well. And that'll just give us a little bit more room to the corner out here. Again, always adjusting on that high angle, our corner routes. If we're outside of the 25-yard line, or our corner routes take an angle to the front pylon. Higher the better to stay away from this flat defender, this corner who's going to play both, try to play no man's land. All right, this clip's going to get cut off. So I talked to you guys about, you've seen us throw the corner route past 3 clips here. Keep people honest. We're going to run a corner post. Now, the most common things that we do out of these sets, we run smash, we run exchange verticals, we'll run that divot concept, the dig pivot. So anything that we do on the backside, we've got divot on the backside here, and then we're running the corner post on top of that dig route. So in these sets, you can manipulate quarterbacks' reads as well, because the receivers are in a closer proximity. They're going to have more time to get to certain landmarks. And I apologize for this clip being cut off here, but QB's at the top of his drop. We're stemming to the corner with our top receiver here, number 1 in the slot. and he's going to bang it back to the post. Because we're running a dig on the backside, that safety's in conflict. We can get a nice high-low on him. Maybe you got a better view from the tight here. Usually on our double moves, we'll expand the footwork of our quarterback. Again, because it's tighter and they're in closer proximity, the quarterback does not have to adjust his footwork at all. He's taking 3 and a hitch here. If you guys have questions on how we teach the corner post or any type of double moves, usually we tell our wideouts, don't short the first move to get to the second move. You have to sell the first portion before you get to the second. And we'll always take 3 steps to whatever we're faking or selling. So he will take 3 steps to the corner out, bang it back to the post. Because we don't want this timing to affect the footwork of the quarterback, he won't get to his normal landmark of 10 to 12 yards at the top of the route on his corner route. We'll shorten it down to 7 or 8. So that way the yardage it doesn't have the same amount of depth to it or height to it. Because he's shortening the height of it, we can then sell it to the corner and then bang it back to the post and keep the same footwork of the quarterback. Here we are in a bowl game in 2018. Cool experience for us playing at Cornell, playing Utica again. This is the same exact formation I've been showing you guys. These are all just smash variations. Here our quarterback actually does take a 5-step drop on this corner post. You see the wideout doesn't do the best job in the world at selling the corner. We're looking at the wideout to the top here to the left. Number 1 was a 2-time all-conference receiver, 2-time captain for us. So we loved getting in these tight sets and giving him some shorter windows and shorter distances to travel. Love double moving him as well. And you'll see us just smashing the play side with that corner post on the backside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the cue. It's a heck of a ball by our quarterback here. Great concentration by the wideout. Eyes tracking the football there. Nose to the ball. All right, so the first one was our 2x2 10 personnel set. Those are all smash variations. We also run spacing concepts. So in our spacing concepts, we predominantly get into a 3x1 formation. For us, it's mostly 10 personnel. And in spacing especially, we like to fib it. So we'll put our formation to the boundary, and it's a simple read for your quarterback. He reads it inside out. He's going to be really quick on this ball route, we would call it. The ball route's 6 yards sitting over the center. This curl, this hitch is anywhere between 8 to 10. Deeper the better, because he wants the ball route and the flat portion to space for him and open up a window. And then the bench or the flat, the arrow, shoot, whatever you guys call it, it's going to have to elapse some time here, right? He might have to wait an extra second. He might have to skippy or tempo his release. We'll teach our guys for these first 2 routes to clear. And especially if you're fibbing it or putting it into the boundary, he's got more time than he thinks. He doesn't want to run out of real estate there. We'll have a 29 conversion on this side. A 2 is a 3-step slant for us. A 9 is a vertical holding the bottom of the numbers for us. We tell our QB pre-snap to read the alley defender. If there's nobody in there, he has an opportunity to throw that backside free access pre-snap. That's a pre-snap decision for him. If he doesn't like it, post-snap, again, he reads it inside out. Here we are, fib set, 10 personnel, 3x1. Eyes to the bottom here. We have tags to adjust the splits of our wide receivers as well, but our base rule is to be at the top of the numbers and run that slant pre-snap. There's an alley defender here, so our quarterback is not going to go there. He's going to read it inside out to the boundary. This is a way for you guys to steal a touch to one of your slot receivers if you guys are utilizing them, or an off-ball tight end or a fullback or anybody. This is usually a cheap way for us to get the ball into the flat, get him to turn up and play behind his pads. Again, this is a quick read for us inside out. He shouldn't have to hitch to throw the ball route or the flat portion. He should only hitch if he needs to throw that intermediate curl route by the number 2 receiver. This is a good job by the Q. 1, 2, 3. Love that we have a stripe on our helmet. Love watching the tight shot with our QBs as well. You can really see where their eyes start pre-snap and end up post-snap. And if they're squaring their shoulders to some of their throws. Here it is again. This is against Union in 2018. Same exact formation, same exact play. Our quarterback deems that there's an alley player over here. So we're just going to read it into the boundary, inside out. If you guys are running spacing concepts already, this is just an easy way to flood 3 receivers into a short confined space. Not the best spacing, ironically, in our spacing concept here. We would like for our ball route to, why we call it a ball route, is to get over the ball, not run it like it's a hitch. so he doesn't muddy up the read of our intermediate player or our hook player here for the QB. Great job by our flat player, our receiver, playing behind his pads here. Little wrinkle that we'll add. So I know that I mentioned in the first slide ways to be complex. One of those bullets were to motion. So when you can combine the two of these things, that's when you're becoming another level of complexity there. So we're in a bunch set. We're not fibbing it here. We're putting it to the field, but we're going to motion it back out and get into an awkward empty set. We don't normally line up in this formation. If you guys are looking at ways to steal or add more variety into your formations without coming up with names for them, motions are an easy way to do that. Because we have a one-word call for our back to motion, either strong or weak, we can come up with different formations that we normally wouldn't just align in. But all in all, it's the same exact thing. We're just going to read this inside out. So we've got a flat player, we've got a player over the ball, and we've got an intermediate presence. We tell our back, he's not part of this read right here. He's running off. If you want to get your backs to run it really fast, you can kind of put the wool over their eyes, right? They're not used to being in the receiver rooms. You can tell them this is an isolation route for them and you're really trying to get them in touch. Hope none of my guys are going to listen to this. But in a man set, you could get them a touch if you got them mismatched on a linebacker. Easy way for us to get the ball into the flat, put it to the field there. We got more space to turn up. We like this concept this week. We actually run it to tie the game on a 2-point conversion later. So it's going to be the same exact play, same exact result. Inside out, ball in the flat, tie the game. Again, simple ways to be complex. We run a ton of spacing concepts. It's just a different way to do it. 1, 2, 3, ball is out. All right, the last thing that we'll do out of our 10 personnel tight sets or bunch sets, we'll run a snag concept, sit, 7 bench, whatever you guys, or the snag corner or shoot, or whatever you guys are calling it. We'll run it out of true 3x1, or we can run it out of 2x2 and get the back to run the flat portion. We'll have different tags on the backside. Base rule for us is just a simple stick concept, but we can tag different things if we wanted to. Well, a common one for us is exchange verts. Normally, when we run it out of a 5-man pro, we won't do deeper developing plays because we have less in the pro and we want to get the ball out a little bit quicker. Here we are against RPI in 2018. We're in the red zone. Our quarterback on this. So because we're bunched up, we're not going to run this as it's a true snag or sit route. We're going to run it like it's a hitch. Because if we were out in space, if our field side wideout, our Z was out in space, he would normally run this on an angle and sit in this void anyway. Because pre-snap, he is not aligned here, he is here, he's going to get to that same space anyway. We tell our QB to read this inside out, just like our spacing concept. This is a quick read. We don't want to hang on that. We should throw inside out, either the sit or the flat on 3 steps. So technically, we're going to read this low to high. I know some other coaches might do that a little bit differently, but it's really an inside out or low to high read. We want to throw one of these off of 3 steps. And if we have to hitch, we will throw the corner or the 7 cut. One, two, three, straight where it needs. Don't like that he needs the hitch there, but he gets the ball out in time for the wide out to make him a secondary move on the defender. That was out of 3x1. Here we are out of 2x2. We're going to run the concept. We're going to run the snag concept to the left here. So here's our hitch route by our number 1 receiver. Here's our corner route by our number 2 receiver. And now all we're going to do is we're going to tell the back that he's number 3. We have a call for that. He's going to go and be the flat portion of this concept. That normally would happen is if we were in a 3x1, and it'd be a wide out or an off-ball tight end. Same exact read for the quarterback. Inside out, ball in the flat. Allow the back to turn up, make a move on the first defender that he sees. Simple ways to get your guys the ball. Here it is again. It's going to be the same exact thing. Running our snag concept to the field here. Not a lot of times in football I've seen press technique like this. Defender's actually going to go and try and cut our on-ball receiver. It's a little bit different. We didn't work that in Indy that week. We should be reading this inside out. Our QB is having to hitch. As you can see right here, he's having to gather or come to balance to throw the hitch or the sit route here. I don't like that. He hitches, he should be throwing the 7 or the corner. This ball should really be in the flat inside out. We've got a dynamic player in the backfield right here. We can put this on his front or upfield shoulder and allow him to turn. More times than not, we tell our ball carriers, BYOB, be your own blocker. They're responsible for making the first guy miss. We'd love to get him an opportunity to make the first guy miss here in the field side flat. Back's a little hesitant here, guys. I like that the back widens his split. Our base alignment is 1 by 1 off the quarterback and behind the guard because he's going to be in the flat presence and he has no pass pro responsibility. He can widen his split, and we want him full speed like we are timing his 40 into the flat. A little bit of a false step there as well. He should be balling up that left foot, pushing off it, and getting to the flat immediately. Don't have this in a diagram, but you can also run your slant wheel concepts or your vertical exchange concepts out of this. This is an end of half scenario, so obviously you'll see the coverage is a little laxed here, but we're going to get into our 4 vertical landmarks here. Number 3 is going to take the landmark of what number 1 normally would do. Again, we will read this inside out. I want to give you guys a clip of just a different concept there. All right, so it's been a lot of pass game, which when we're bunching, we are looking to pass the ball, especially in our 10 personnel stuff. That's no secret to anybody. Everybody has tendencies. But we will run outside zone as well, just to keep people honest. Outside zone, we can either be, so we're running outside zone to the right or to the field here. We can be in a gun opposite alignment and read the backside end. We could be in a pistol alignment, which we prefer. It gives the back a little bit of an easier track. Or we could be in a gun same side alignment as a tendency breaker. So everyone's simply running outside zone here. We're pitching the ball to the back, trying to get on the perimeter. This is a great job by him going and scoring and making a big play. So just like everybody else is running their zone concepts, this is a 4-man front. Our center is working with the play side guard here. Our tackle's man on. We're looking to cut off here. We'll have calls to keep the backside tackle man on or to read this, but we're running outside zone just like everybody else is. We're just tightening down the splits here and getting on the perimeter. Now that was a gun same side alignment as a tendency breaker, and we pitched it out there. Here's us running outside zone again. We're just in a pistol alignment. You'll see how quick the back's able to get downhill here. Makes it a very easy read for him. So this is going to be an odd front, so our combinations will just downgrade a level, right? So instead of our center working with our play side guard, he's working in combination here. They're working in combination here. You'll see our slot receiver get into the box here and try to get into a combination block with the tackle. We do not teach that, so we're not being innovative here. Don't ask me why we do that. He's taught to block the first, second level defender outside the tackle box, which he'll eventually climb up to, but now he's out leveraged. So if we could have been up to this player originally and gotten our stripe on the right side, our cage on the right side here on the upfield shoulder, this would be a much cleaner read for our tailback. Would be one-on-one with a third level defender or safety here, which is what we're ultimately trying to accomplish. We will naked boot a lot too. So I just wanted to throw this in at the end here. I know I don't have a diagram of it. I could draw anything up that you guys need to, but just another wrinkle here. We're just booting off our outside zone. That's a way for us to get one of our premier players who happens to be our slot receiver in our offense an easy touch here, make a backer run through some traffic. Most of our boot concepts will boot to a flood, just like you guys will. So we'll have a flat portion, we'll have an intermediate portion, and then we'll have a deep portion. We tell anybody who's to the side that we're booting to that they have to sell run before they get to their route responsibility. So how we'll normally sell run, if it's an off-ball player in the backside, it'll be like a kick block, like split flow zone. If it's a wide out, we do a lot of like MDM blocks or cutoff blocks on third level players. So we'll have him attack a safety, go to the deep portion. Our backside player will run a post, splitting the hashes. We wide sell outside zone. We read it low to high. We get the ball in the flat, make the first guy miss. That was a lot of our tight stuff, guys. So that was all the bunch sets. Again, we're running smash. We're running a spacing concept. We're running a snag concept. We'll run outside zone to keep people honest, and then we'll boot off of that as well. Obviously, some of you wing T guys or 21 personnel guys, you guys can add that as well. If you have a tight formation tag, you can add that to whatever formation you want. This year, we're going to look into doing it more out of our heavier sets as well. The next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is our unbalanced sets, guys. The next diagram I'll have on the next slide, I'll show you some of our top formations out of it. Again, if you have a common call or tag to tell a certain player to line up to the strength or step on as opposed to stepping off, you'll allow a lot of creativity and a lot of flexibility in your playbook to add unbalanced sets to a lot of base things that you guys do without coming up with names for those things. So in our unbalanced sets, we're running a lot more than we're passing. We have 34 attempts in a run. We have 9 attempts in the pass. We actually were 8 for 9 in all of our pass game calls for the last 2 years in our unbalanced sets, and they're all right here. Bubble, we were 4 for 4. Allows us to get 4 to a side in a 4x0 set. Boot, we were 2 for 3. That was our lone incompletion there. I think that was a bad call on my part, given the situation we were in. Then we run double post. You can see the averages on all of them. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, guys. It's just that you're running your base things just out of a different set, and 17 or whatever level you're coaching at, 14 to 21-year-old kids got to get aligned in the blink of an eye, and they don't a lot of times know who's eligible or ineligible. So back to the first slide, our unbalanced sets, they cause confusion. They allow you to add a digit to the side of the ball, and they allow you to have better leverage on some for angles for blocks in your run game. But pass, we're bubble, we're boot, we're double post. Run game, there's a lot of attempts here. Average 3.6 and 6 touchdowns. I'll show you guys some goal line things that we do, some tackle over and some ineligible things. But we like to run power, jet, and sweep. These are some of the formations, guys. Okay, so unbalanced formations. These top two allow us to get into a 4x0. And the two illustrations that I have here, there's a 21 personnel example, typical pro set, and we'll have a call to have the X receiver go from the backside and just align to the play side. Same thing, we'll have a call to have our X receiver in our 3x1 true spread set, 10 personnel. We'll have a call to make him go from here to over here. You guys can also have calls in your 3x1s. Here, there's an example of a 21 and 11 set to just pop the backside receiver off the line of scrimmage and tell the play side receiver to step on. Okay, we know in these sets that the tight end's ineligible. We talk about that with our guys. Here's a 3x1 11 personnel set for us. So we'll have calls for our receivers to maximize their splits as well. But here are our two receivers. We know that our X is always to the play side. He's going to be number 2. He's going to be on. He's going to cover the tight end here. It's going to allow us to pop our backside receiver off. We love to jet motion. We love to run pin and pull buck sweep or like crack sweeps with these things. We love to run our base bread and butter of power as well. So I'll actually show this. I'll show the first example from the wide and talk to you about how we teach our jet player. And then I'll talk to you more about it from the tight. We tell our QB we have a call for motion. Again, we're a clap cadence team, so we'll have some type of verbiage to tell the receiver to motion. We'll have some type of thing in the short huddle to tell the O-line to hold their water, not get overzealous, stay in their stance, know that we're motioning and we're changing the pre-snap picture for them. We tell our QB at the bare minimum to snap it by the time the wideout's approaching the play side tackle. We want to give the illusion that we can either give this ball to the jet player or to the tailback. We'll tell our jet player if the overhang player does not attack the mesh point or the line of scrimmage to run full speed to the sideline. If that overhang player were to attack the mesh point or the line of scrimmage, We tell him not to ever pass up another colored jersey. Don't run by a defender. Kick him out. This is a way for our receiver to be physical. This is a great job by our outside receivers as well. We're just running power here, guys. We're pulling the back. We're washing everything down and pulling the backside guard. We run it just like same way everyone else does it. And what's ironic about this is if we were in a base 3-by-1 set, we would tell our slot receiver to dig this player out, or we would be throwing a bubble or a hitch off him anyway. Again, why do you get into an unbalanced set? Create better leverage for a block. So now he's full speed and he's inside out, kicking that thing out. This is a great job by our outside receivers. They know that this is an interior hitting run play. They're both looking to dig out inside shoulders on these defenders. They can't anticipate that the ball is going to bounce to the numbers here. This is a great job by both of them converting the blockers. We tell our receivers never to block back. So this is a great job by this receiver here, number 15. He's not looking back, which many of our players are tempted to do, try and get a kill shot here. He does a fantastic job here of staying north and blocking a defender that he can see. So if our tailback was to make somebody miss or keep this thing up the sideline, that's going to be the touchdown block there. From the tight shot, again, guys, we're washing everything down here. We're washing everything down here. We're pulling for the plus, what we would ID for the plus backer. I know I'm not talking too much in depth about our schemes here, but it's just power. Same thing that the rest of you guys are doing. Now we're telling our slot player right here, we're going to take a still shot here. We don't want the defense to know if we're going to give it to the jet player, which I'll show you clips of us doing, or giving it to the tailback. We read power inside out, so we're not necessarily just follow the puller. We're reading it A gap, B gap, C gap. This is a great job by our back. We tell our back not to move until the ball is fielded, and we tell him to take one lateral step to the mesh point with his play side foot. So that's a good job by him picking up his left foot, reading this thing inside out, staying patient. Be great if we get our tight end out of the gap here. Again, our tight end should just be washing everything down. That should be an even cleaner read for our tailback. This is in 2019. This is our home opener against St. Lawrence this past season. We open up with them again this year on a Friday night. Rare experience for a college football team to play on a Friday night. Hopefully with all of this nonsense going on in the world, it doesn't affect football too much. Here we are. We're running the same exact play here. Same exact play. It's in the red zone. This is against RPI this past season as well. Again, still shot. Our QB's waiting a little long here. It's past the tackle. We shouldn't know if we're giving it to the jet player or the tailback. There's no overhang player here, guys, right? So it's not like we have a call for him to kick out or for him not to kick out. There's no overhang player here. He's respecting the split of our wideout. There's no overhang attacking the mesh point or the line of scrimmage. So he doesn't have to kick anything out. He can run full speed to the sideline and hold those players. Great job by our back. It's a good job scoring before half here. I don't like that net shot here. We have a try shot here. We're just running power again. Backside guard is going to pull. It's a great job by our back being patient. Wait for the QB to field the ball for you to take your footwork. Lift the knees, get your butt in the end zone. All right, so those previous two examples were 11 personnel sets. Here we are in a 21 personnel set. So we like to consider ourselves to be a power spread team. So we will use a fullback as well, not just a slot receiver all the time. Here we're just going to run pin and pull sweep. We'll have calls to fall slow the fullback or to get him to insert to the play side to become necessarily a third puller. We're running sweep. We don't block the overhang player. We tell our first puller to kick the overhang player, the force player. Tell our second puller to insert inside out for the plus. We don't necessarily get there. This is a good job by our back playing with speed. We're running true buck here, pulling both guards. We normally would do that at a base set. Why not add an extra digit there? Why not bring the X over and get an extra player there at the point of attack? We'll also motion to it as well. All right, skip to one there. Here we are on homecoming this year against Morrisville. So this is a 21 personnel set. We've done a decent job of dressing up the jet motion. Sometimes the jet motion is a distraction. Sometimes it actually is part of the blocking scheme, right? It could kick something inside out, like that clip against St. Lawrence. Or we can give them the ball. So we can run jet off of anything. We can false flow and run sweep opposite the jet. We can block for the jet. We can do different things. Here we're just running inside zone away from the jet player and telling the fullback and the primary single back of the tailback here to lead. We lock our receiver to the play side. Normally he would MDM and go to the safety on typical run game in our offense, but here on the jet stuff, we know we have two backs getting there. We tell our jet player to sprint to the bottom of the numbers. Your track is the bottom of the numbers. Outrun anything. If you're unsure, outrun it. If something forces you to cut, you can cut, but you have to immediately get back on your track to the bottom of the numbers. We're timing this up. Motion players at the play side tackle there. We give this to the motion player. We're out on the perimeter. So this is a good job by the receiver here, the ball carrier. When in doubt, get on your track to the bottom of the numbers. It's a good job by him setting up this block, getting to the bottom of the numbers. If something forces you to cut, do so. Back to the bottom of the numbers if we can. Here we are in a 10 personnel set. So in the previous, we're in 21. Here we're in 10. Again, we're just trying to gain leverage here. Why do you go unbalanced? Cause confusion, gain leverage, add a digit. Any of those three things. Those are three primary reasons why we'll do it. Single backs leading for the ball carrier. You're no longer allowed to block on the perimeter. Coaches, public service announcements here. I don't know if any of you guys got that. We're going to get a holding call on our number 2 receiver here. He's doing a good job rolling the sleeves up and getting dirty there, tight elbows. But just another example of us running jet, guys, at a 21 end, out of 10. Same concept for you guys. Here we have a call where we're blocking for the jet player. Previous one you saw was running inside zone opposite. Here it is at a 21 again, so just the third example of the jet motion stuff. Here we actually have a pass called off of this. This receiver that we're giving the ball to was a quarterback in a past life. So we're telling the fullback here, we're just running a basic scissors concept where it's going to be post corner. Tailback's taught to protect for the ball carrier. Again, public service announcement, you are no longer allowed to block on the perimeter, guys. We're going to get a hold on our tailback there. He's doing a good job getting dirty with a backer. Defense does a great job here of running with that corner route. See them both turn their back and go to it, which opens up this lane here. We're going to do a good job getting to our landmark at the bottom of the numbers and finishing behind our pads. All right, so here's some pass game stuff. So sometimes we'll go on balance to pop one receiver on, one receiver off, and motion them. Either be a distraction, get involved in the blocking scheme, or give them the ball to a favorable situation with leverage. Or we'll get into some 4x0 stuff to accomplish the same things. We're just trying to gain leverage here. So in 10 personnel, we like to tag bubble and different things to our inside run game. Now we're just adding another digit here. So here's our bubble player. Bubble is the same thing as jet. His track is the bottom of the numbers. Good job by our receiver getting to the bottom of the numbers. We will tag inside run game off of this. We'll tell our QB, this is a pre-snap RPO for us. We'll tell our QB to get a box count. If he doesn't like the look in the box, I'll give the tailback a call to tell him he's not going to get the ball, cross my face immediately. Don't wait for me to field it. He's going to one step, get this ball out to the perimeter. A lot of you guys will run your Oklahoma drill. I don't know if that's outdated by a lot of the coaches here. In training camp, we'll get the DBs together, we'll get the wideouts together, and we'll run bubble alley or bubble Oklahoma, and we'll just line them up. We'll have them get to it, and instead of handing the ball to the tailback, we'll get reps of our QB and our center, our QB fielding the ball, taking his footwork, getting the ball out, reps for our slot receivers catching the bubble, live reps for our outside receivers getting blocking. This is a good clip of bubble alley here. And we'll give them from the top of the numbers to the sideline to make cuts. One more clip of it. We're in a 4x0, just a way for us to add leverage, right? Just a way for us to add leverage. We've got an extra digit here. Not setting the world on fire. It's a 6-yard gain, but something that somebody has to prepare for. It causes a little bit of confusion. You're doing the same things that you normally would do anyway. Just throwing a bubble off inside zone. All right, so other than the bubble, told you guys that we have a naked boot as well. So here we are, guys. I don't know if you can tell if this is an eligible set or not. We're just running our base naked series where we're going to boot to a flood concept. And this is going to be a tackle over. So we'll have a call to tell our tackle to align to the formation strength and flip with our tight end. So this is normally our right tackle here. And this is our left tackle. Here's our Y, or our tight end, on a shortened edge. On our boot game stuff, we're going to fake outside zone, stretch it, and we're going to slam release. His first read is a slam release. He takes 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps. He opens up like it's pick and roll basketball. He opens up to the ball carrier, and he gets into the flat. So just creative ways for you guys for unbalanced sets. You normally would run your naked boot anyway. You guys can see, like, this is a fourth. We're being aggressive here. This is the first drive of the game. This is a 4th and 1. Why not line up in something that you guys haven't shown? Even if you have shown it, and even if an opponent has film on it and is game planning for it and is repping it during the week, force them to do it live when it matters, and force them to do it within the time frame of the play clock. All right, so now we're combining unbalanced and jet, and now we're going to boot off of the jet motion. So just little wrinkles and little ideas for you guys. Where does the coaching come into play? All right, so you're losing your deep portion of this concept because you're jet motioning him. You're losing what normally would be your drag player here because he is ineligible, because he is covered by a wide receiver. Tell your wide receiver to cheat a split in. He's now taking the drag. We still have our kick bench, or our flat portion of this concept, from the fullback. Just some ideas for you guys. So bubble, boot. The last thing that we talked about were double post. Here we are in a true 21 personnel pro set. Again, we'll have a call to get our X from the backside of the formation over here and move him to the play side. This is going to force our tight end to be ineligible. Do these players know that live in the moment? I do not know. Even if they do, force them to do it live. We're play actioning power here, and we're throwing double posts. If you can steal one, why not? If you're running double post, if you're running boot, if you're running bubble, these are just simple ways for you guys to give the illusion that you are complex. Simple ways to be complex. All right, so I talked about motion too. For us, you saw a lot of examples of motion where we were jetting and giving it, we were jetting and kicking out, we were jetting and booting off of it. But if we're going to do a primary stationary motion or movement, where we're going to move one player from one side of the formation to another and get reset and evaluate that pre-snap picture again, we like to motion into empty. There's not a lot of times where we're just going to line up in empty. We'll motion to empty. And why will we do that? You might uncover a receiver completely. You might motion the back out and they might not cover him. Or you're going to motion somebody out and you're going to get that motion player a matchup that you normally would not be able to. When you motion to empty instead of just lining up in it, you're going to force a coverage. A lot of teams will send 6 and play man, or a lot of teams will just play some version of cover 3 to it, at least what we see in our conference. Why do you want to motion to empty, or why do you want to have an empty set as well? Just for you as a play caller and for your quarterback, when you guys are having conversations, you can create different reads or combinations. You can combine base concepts that you normally wouldn't have. You guys are in a 3-by-2. You guys have 5 eligible receivers across the line of scrimmage horizontally, sideline to sideline. You guys can come up with different combinations of route concepts that you normally would not be able to in base sets. You can create different reads. You can create a play side triangle, a backside triangle, whatever you want to do. When we motioned to empty over the last 2 years, guys, when we passed the ball, we were 15 for 20, which is good for 75%. And we averaged 9.6 yards per play in that. All right, so here we are. I'm going to try and show you guys the set, beginning to end. So we're in a true 3x1 10 personnel set. We motion to back out weak. And he winds up being uncovered. We're running our variation of double slants back here, where we'll run a shave slant, and we'll run a hitch route to a fin, depending on the corner here. You either hitch it up or break it in. We read that inside out, or we can take that pre-snap if there's a misalignment. This defense is trying to heat us up, right? We're motioning an empty, and they're saying, hey, we're going to send 6 because you only have 5. You can pass it all you want in that, but we're going to hit your quarterback. Our quarterback understands that. He fields the ball. Laces, no laces, doesn't matter. He gets it out. Our ball carriers have to make the first guy miss, and they get on a track to the bottom of the numbers. This is a great job by number 2 here, our wide onto the boundary. Again, not turning back, but turning up and becoming a blocker. Here's our call. We'll have a call to motion to back weak. We'll have a call to motion to back strong. Get into an empty set. Catch and throw. Here we are again. Same exact set, 3x1 10 personnel. Motion to back weak. Now, again, depending on what you guys are trying to accomplish that week, you guys can go quick game, or you guys can create backside or weak side triangles. Here, if I remember correctly, we're trying to create a weak side triangle. So we're going to have a typical curl flat concept here. And then we're going to run 4 verts to the play side with our diagonal route, which would essentially give us a natural look off and a natural triangle to one side of the formation. It's a great job by our Q, looking 1, 2, 3. It builds in a natural look off. He's not predetermined that he's throwing the diagonal route to the play side or to the 3 receiver side for the 4 verts. He's looking to throw that curl concept. If he feels he has it, he can take it. He's going to come to balance and throw the diagonal on the backside. Simple ways, again, guys, we're just running 4 verts with a curl slide. I'm sure all of us are doing that. There's not a lot of, if any, scenario where you'd be able to combine 3 receivers running 4 verts and 2 receivers running curl slide. Again, empty is just a creative way for you to combine different route concepts. This is against St. Lawrence 2 years ago. We're off track here, second and 15. So the plays out. So now this week we are running a levels concept. So we're running levels here, 2 in breaking routes with a corner. We're running our divot concept, which is essentially a pivot route with a dig behind it. Again, natural look off. He's going to start on the 2 receiver side. He's going to read the pivot to the dig. If he doesn't like it, he's going to have an in-breaking route to create a weak side triangle here. Read remains the same, although the routes are drastically different from the previous clip. Here we are on senior day this year. It's against Utica College. You guys saw this in 2018. Here it is in 2019. We're running curl into the boundary. It's a great job by our diagonal on our 4 vert side, climbing over top of this backer. It's a great job by our QB, patient to the boundary. 1, 2, 3, come to balance with a wide base. His back foot's outside of the framework of his back hip. I know I haven't talked a lot of QB technique or fundamentals here, but whatever you guys need. Great job hitting that diagonal. Great job making the first guy miss. Lift the knees, extend for the end zone. Here he's not starting on the curl side, right? He's kind of assuming you can see a stripe in his visor, his eyes here. He's hanging up on the 4 vert side, but he delivers a good football there. Same exact concept. 2018, this is a big moment. Tie ball game, 12 seconds left. No timeouts. Have a discussion with the guys before the drive, before the play, right? Got to get on this ball and kill it. We did a good job doing that. Here we are, same exact thing. Running 4 verts to the play side. Again, you guys can manipulate where you want the QB's eyes to start or the reads for that week, depending on what you call. You're probably going to have 2 to 3 of these concepts in the tool belt for that week. Here we're running somebody off. We're breaking somebody out. And then we're running 4 verts here. If you have a true high-low or in-out, something that you don't want to necessarily start with your eyes on there, you can have window dressing here to open this up and have different types of reads to get to this side. Three and a hitch, great job by our diagonal player. Getting down, sense of urgency to go kill it. We're telling our QB on this one to read the 4 vert side first. 3 and a hitch, on time, good delivery. Great job by the receiver. All right, so weak side triangles, backside triangles. Here's an example of a play side triangle where we're running our curl seam flat to the play side, curl, seam, flat. And we're running double slants on the backside. So this slant portion will create a play side triangle with the curl flat. And then we'll tag our hitch to fin or our hitch to our in-breaking route on the backside. This corner's off. He snaps it off, hitches. This is a pre-snap decision by our quarterback. I don't like how he 3 steps here. If it's a pre-snap decision, he's throwing free access. He should 1 step, gets his ball out a little bit quicker. But he gets the ball where it needs to be. Low-hanging fruit or your gift or your free access, whatever you call your backside. Here it is. Utica College, we've got to work a little bit more ball security here. Not the best there. He's got to tuck that thing away, get a pin to the chest, elbow to the rib cage. You guys see just different variations of us motioning to empty. We're running curl slide or running some variation of 4 verts or levels. Because again, week in and week out, year in and year out, you guys can change what you want to do. All right, that was, I really covered most of what I wanted to. I gave you guys the bunch sets, gave you guys some of the unbalanced stuff, gave you guys the motion and the motion to empty. Here's some more just like goal line stuff that we'll do. We got creative. We had a different goal line set this year every single week where we'd have some fun with it. We thought we had some depth on our offensive line. So we created formations to get an extra tackle in on both sides. So here's a tackle, and then here's an eligible tight end in case we want to pass off it. I'll show you guys a clip of, well, we'll run power out of this. We'll run inside zone. We'll run ISO, different things. So if they overplay the side with the tackle and the tight end, you guys can just run ISO or inside zone weak. They don't know which way the fullback's going to insert. Here we are inside out. I'll show you guys just different clips of the formation. So 71 obviously is not a skill guy, right? Big old tackle here. Another tackle here, 78. Then our tight end capping it off. Our tight end's eligible if we needed him to be. So you'll see that the most simple thing that we'll do off this, we'll put the tight end in the corner in the back pylon. We'll put the fullback in the flat. And it'll just be a smash concept. So again, simple ways to be complex. We're just going to run smash if we pass out of this. We're just going to run inside zone, ISO, and power, which we normally would anyway. Here we are this year as well. Now instead of inside zone weak, we're just running power strong. We run inside zone and power the same way everybody else does. Everybody's going to be down. The fullback's going to kick. Fullback's going to insert. Puller right here. It's going to pull for the plus. Don't get our face crossed. I've got 2 more clips for you guys here, and that'll be it. This is right before half here. Again, pull something out that you guys aren't doing. Tie ball game. 40 seconds and running here. Get into an unbalanced set, get into some tackle eligible stuff. Here we've got, so in one set I showed you a tight end attached to a tackle here. Here we're just going double fullbacks like the previous clips. Now we've got 2. And we're just running power. Last clip I'll show you, we're not just running out of these things. And again, you can get creative with where the fullbacks align, how they align. If you want a fullback to be a tight end, where's a jab fake in the inside zone, and we're running smash like I drew up for you guys previous few clips. So we've got an eligible tight end here. He's going to run to the back pylon. Our play side fullback is going to be in the flat. We read it low to high. All right, guys, coach, that's all I got for you. Here's all of my contact info one more time. Simple ways to be complex, guys. Got my Twitter handle to DM me. Got my cell phone to text or call me. My email's there as well. This is a huddle playlist. I'll share it with all of you guys. I can email it as well. Bunch, unbalanced, motion, great things that we talked about. And I'm more than happy to go more in depth on everything if you guys need it. Coach Bandstra, what you're doing is great, especially during this time of dormancy here. Hope I can get out to Ohio there and see how good the football is. I've heard some pretty good things. Thank you again for allowing myself and Utica College to have a platform here to share some of the things that we're doing.